And then two, with a greater respect to the minority children, if you have committees that is there to pass through the House, who told you that to pass? Because it's going to be a resolution, and the House will have to take a decision on it. So you don't make reference to something that is not in place. That you don't make reference to things that is yet to take in place. In Parliament, you make referral to the things that are in existence, not what is coming. That's why in our rules, it says that you don't do things in anticipation. So
yes, Honorable.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The item mentioned by my colleague 10O has got 5 sub-items. There are no issues with the first 3, obviously. In the past, we had concerns about IV and V. And the minister was here yesterday and attempted to lay it. We have since made our issues known. Mr. Speaker, as we said the day before, Friday and yesterday, these are major agreements that can have an impact on the economy and mining in this country. So what we were calling for is a situation where when these agreements are referred to the appropriate, there should be no attempt by the side opposite to railroad this and say that we are rising. We should ignore issues about concerns about mining in forests, on water bodies and other things, just because they want this to be passed. Mr. Speaker, there's nothing in our standing order today that will stop us from allowing them to lay. But be assured, you will not be allowed to cajole anybody to lay a lithium agreement for anyone to go and mine in a reserve forest. Even if it will give us 10 trillion, we don't care. You'll be forced to do the right thing and make sure the environment is protected, not for you and I only, but for the future generations yet unborn. So we are not going to stand in your way of laying it, but the committee that this will be referred to. And Mr. Speaker, we are just about to approve the new committees under the new standing order. People have been attempting for this to be referred to a joint committee. Today, we are encouraging you to refer this to only the Committee of Lands, yes, and Natural Resources. This idea, yes, because this idea of this joint committee creates a problem. Mining has nothing to do with energy. Mining is a land and natural resource matter. So, Mr. Speaker, we were hoping that we'll complete the setting up of the committees today before we make the referral. Those who are pushing for this to be laid ahead of time should know this will not be referred to Mines and Energy and Lands Committee. It must necessarily go to the Lands and Natural Resource Committee only. And we shall follow up to make sure that the right thing is done for this country. No one is allowed to mine, and then when we do this, and then the people are crying in their communities, the Parliament absorbs itself. It is our responsibility to approve the agreement and do the oversight of this, Mr. Speaker. Those are the only things I have to say before we go ahead. Yes. Yes, leader. Leader, let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, the concerns of the minority chief whip are well noted. I'm sure that when the paper is laid, the committee with the capacity to deal with it would get the time to deal with it. I'm sure he knows that we don't railroad issues in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, whether or not there will be the need to have a joint committee is a matter of course. I mean, if a committee is seized with responsibility, obviously, if in the deliberation there is a need to do whatever, that one will come up. So, Mr. Speaker, without more, would want to proceed to get it made so that we move on.
Leader. Let me give the opportunity to Honorable Muntaka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm worried about what the leadership are doing. I'm very worried about what they are doing. One, Mr. Speaker, we don't have the Minister for Lands in the chamber. You are going to seek permission. It's for the House to agree whether to want a deputy minister to lay such an important, referral. That is one. And then two, with a greater respect to the minority children, if you have committees that is there to pass through the House, who told you that to pass? Because it's going to be a resolution, and the House will have to take a decision on it. So you don't make reference to something that is not in place. That you don't make reference to things that is yet to take in place. In Parliament, you make referral to the things that are in existence, not what is coming. That's why in our rules, it says that you don't do things in anticipation. So please, I want to beg the leadership. Sometimes you may want to do things. That's why you have rankings, you have chairpersons. You need to consult them so that you are on the same page with them. Don't bring your differences on the floor. And Mr. Speaker, in my view, the importance of this referral is such that we should not even allow a deputy minister to lay them. Because you want to be sure what exactly it is. And our rules provide that in laying a paper, you can be asked to give some explanations. Who says that that explanation may not be sought? Because the concern of the minority whip is that, is this something going to be rushed under certificate of urgency? Is this something that will be rushed? Is this something that we want to do before we rise? If you want explanation from the minister, can the deputy minister provide you that? Please. So I think that we must resolve that this is an important thing. Let's see the minister himself come. So that when he comes, he may have to provide explanations with regards to whether he really wants this thing before we rise. So that we can get to know how urgent it is. But a deputy minister cannot be able to tell us that whether the thing is urgent or not. So, Mr. Speaker, and worst of it, the minister himself is a member of Parliament. So he should be here so that he can provide those explanations before the paper is laid. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, leader, I'll come to you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I am the current ranking on mines and energy. I do admit that there's a new standing order. And I do admit that there's been a transition. I am not challenging the chief whip of the minority side, and I dare not challenge him. In fact, if I have issues, I will discuss it with him personally so that we resolve these matters. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, nobody is rushing for any referral to be made to a committee. I'm sure that, Mr. Speaker, you are competent enough to determine that based on the gravamen of the subject matter, you want one committee, two committees, or leadership of a certain committee to join another committee. And that has always been our practice. But to rise up and say that under no circumstance will you go to this committee, under no circumstance will you go to the other committee, I think it's premature. It's premature. So I would plead with the minority chief whip. If he wants the new committees to be constituted, let's do that. It is in your court. If you constitute new committees, wherever you take us, we will serve there and work for you. But such comments, I will plead with him. He should hold it, because as mines and energy ranking, when you refer to my committee and you make such a statement, it really hurts a little. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well. Yes. let me invite the former leader. This is just a laying. I don't think we need to split our hairs on this. Yes, former leader, if may do that, honest to just do that for us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to plead. I just want to plead with colleagues. This is a matter of just laying the document. Just laying the document. And once the document is laid, the Speaker reserves the right to do the referral to the committees. I know the concern of the minority chairman is a last word. So he's concerned about what perhaps may happen then. It's a mineral. It's also a mineral. That is concerned. So, Mr. Speaker, you reserve the right to do what is right. And I'm not too sure that anybody is going to rush in. It's for the committee to decide. So let nobody be jittery or panicky about this. Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And I lay the document.